Another edition of Vanguardian 650, and I was just scrolling to my timeline and different socials, and I find that a lot of people, especially people in the black community, you know what I'm saying, it seems like they just worry about other people too much. People are worrying about what people said, and they make statements on people's Twitters, and then when people reply back to the Twitter, they don't like what the person said, but you're making disparaging remarks about someone else's platform. Then you come on there, y'all, you got your boxers in a bunch because that person replied back and was kind of disrespectful to you. So, all fair and love and war, man. You know what I mean? There's no rules to anything. There's no more decorum. People are doing what they want to do. The shock value is going viral. That's what it's all about. Content now is the new drug for people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're in character, out of character. I don't know. But there is it does show a lot of lack of maturity. You know what I'm saying? So, but people, anything to go viral, anything for hits, anything for likes, anything for clicks, that's what it's about now. They don't care whether it's true or not. It's just to get a reaction, engagement. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. That's the way the world is. You have to adjust to it. I refuse to go down that road. I'd be critical, but if I'm critical of maybe a position that that person took on the subject matter. I'm critical of that, and I break it down. I mean, based on what they might say, I might just take a position. Well, did you really do all your research? If I think they lacked in some type of way, but mine is always a professional critique. So I think that's necessary, and you have to call people out if they're not presenting all the facts, and that's where we at in this country. People like to make up stuff, fake news, uh, not presenting real facts. They just throwing things out there for reaction and engagement, and that's how people are rolling. I mean, the president does this on a daily. He just spews stuff out there, get a reaction, get engagement, and sometimes I wonder, does he base his policy off the reactions? We know he bases it off the votes, but he's in there doing his own thing. So I just think, like I said, more or less in the black community, I find this happening, but it happens all over the place. I mean, I don't check so much the other communities as much because I don't like to deal with the this newfound emboldenment by the president. Then they feel like very chesty. They can say things. They can, they can, you know, spew all the type of, bigotry and hate, and they're comfortable with that because that's who they are. They like to throw stones and hide their hands, and want to give you advice on how you as a community should operate. You should be grateful for the United States and your liberties and your freedoms and stuff like that. No one said we're ungrateful, but we can be critical. There's a lot of people here who are out here struggling, and they don't have an answer for tomorrow. They're trying to get their rent together for February. They're trying to even get maybe their mortgage or whatever together for this month. A lot of people that are in that position, and I'm just saying, you have to take care, make sure you're right first. Charity starts at home. You can't help nobody else out if you can't help yourself or help people in your family. It shouldn't be anybody in your family going without, and you're ready to dump all your money to somebody else's charity. Nah, I don't subscribe to that. Charity starts at home. Get you and your folks right. You and yours first. Self-preservation. And then once you're able to flap your wings, you're able to, you're able to help other people out. You know what I mean? without, you know, a struggle. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can help people out with just advice. It doesn't have to be monetary. Just, but a lot of people don't like people's advice. You know what I mean? So go figure. This is the world we live in. It's unapologetic. It's it's unforgiving. It doesn't flinch. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't care about your feelings. It's going to keep going on. Life's just going to keep going on. The temperament is going to change. Um, People's ideas are going to change. Politics are going to change. And we already know. You know, whoever wields the power, whoever had power, whoever has the power at that moment is going to will it how they see fit. That's America. And we're living in it. Peace.